Amit, can you bring on this screen once again, shared screen?
Yes, 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm just setting up the live stream. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Got it.
Hi, Jared. Should I move the slides?
No, just hold the slide here itself, Amit. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Fine. Gautam,
Yeah,
yeah, I've shared you the link.
I got it. Okay. So it will start at 7 o'clock or it's live now?
Currently I have set up the settings. So exact by 7 o'clock when we start, you can start. You can distribute the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
He starts talking, just make sure.
Madam, Dr. R.G. Patel also will be joining, madam, in a few minutes. So,
Meanwhile, you can, Gautam, you tell madam that it is going to be YouTube live so that Priya can share that link with madam.
madam, voice is not audible, no?
Madam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
madam,
will talk.
yeah, we are streaming the same meeting in YouTube link also, madam.
Okay.
So Dr. R.G. Patel will be joining in few minutes. We'll we'll set the flow and then we'll get start at 7 o'clock.
Okay. But I don't have to go to YouTube, right?
No.
It's a YouTube live. It is going to have, I mean, if you want to have some of his students to attend where they cannot join in Zoom, they can just watch it in YouTube live.
Okay. I don't have my students sitting with me at 6 o'clock in the evening. I should have told all this. Send the link. I'll see whether I can send it over to them. Okay.
Priya, you send the link to madam.
Yeah, okay.
In my phone or whatever, put somewhere.
Sir also join. Hello, sir. Are we audible?
Sir is connecting to audio. Right.
Welcome.
Yeah, Amit.
Yeah, can we request Dr. Archie Patel to rejoin? I think even he's having some.
Yeah, yes, I asked him to rejoin.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think now he is okay. I think he's connected. I think Gautam, sir has connected. He has to unmute and switch on the video too.
अमित हितेश अनम्यूट करने को बोला सर को. हेलो, अनम्यूट.
Yeah, organic.
Gautam, I think you have to call sir to unmute and.
Yes, Vijay.
Are you talking to me?
No, madam.
Okay.
No, madam, we're talking Gautam. I'm just asking.
Okay.
Unmute Archie Patel.
Yeah, is sir able to listen us? He's unmute.
Five more minutes to go.
Enable type system. Okay. ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಚರ್ಮರಿ. ಈಗ ಒಬ್ರು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ವಿಷದ ಊಟ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ 50 ಮಂದಿ ವಾಂತಿ ಆಗ್ತೈತೆ, 50 ಮಂದಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದ್ 5 ಮಂದಿ ಏನು ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಹಂಗೆ ನಿಮ್ದು GIT ಮ್ಯೂಕೋಸ ನಿಮ್ದು ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೈತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
Joined.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Gautam.
सर एक बार ट्राई करते सर, स्लाइड कंटेंट ट्राई टू प्रेजेंट.
Yes.
Okay. ठीक है सर. Yes sir. So sir, Dr. Mridubashni madam also joined. Yes, madam will be the moderator for this session.
Yeah. Gautam?
Yeah, let's search for madams.
Okay.
Hi madam,
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening to everybody. Yeah.
But I will just wait for 2 minutes, madam. I will start.
Sure. Sure.
Hello, Gautam.
Yeah, Amit.
Are we ready to go live? Can we are live?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Over to you. Or should I change the slide?
No. Wait. Yeah, you can.
She has also.
No, she has seen this patient. She did around 9 cases actually.
Yeah, Vijay. Yeah, Amit, you can start. It's in the slide. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. It's good from Merv. So, I will start today for the meeting. Moderator will be Dr. Mridibashini from Coimbatore. Amit, you can put the slide up. Next one. Madams, yeah. Dr. Mridibashini Govindarajan. Madam is a clinical director and Women's Center Coimbatore. Madam was graduated from Stanley Medical College and had a PG training at University of Manitoba, Winnipeg, Canada. And she is a former teaching faculty at University of Teaching in Winnipeg, Canada. She was a former associate professor and an adjunct professor at Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. And she was an examiner also there. And she was invited at a national and international conferences. She got Lifetime Achievement Award at MGR University. She got, for the sake of honor, award from Rotary Clubs of Coimbatore. And she also got Lifetime Achievement Award from Coimbatore OG Society and from IMA Coimbatore. And she got award for Best Woman Entrepreneur Award by Coimbatore Management Association, Inspiring Gynecologist of India from Times Group. And she also got Lifetime Achievement Award by Tamil Nadu Pondicherry Chapter, ISAR Society in 2020-22. With this, it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Mridibashini Govindarajan.
Thank you very much.
Amit, change the slide.
I think it's my pleasant duty to introduce Dr. R.G. Patel today. He's an expert member of the National ART Bill Committee. He's one of the consultant advisors for the central government in this committee. So the topic that we are going to hear today is something that has confused a lot of us all over India, and we still have lots of questions to be answered. So today we've got an opportunity to hear from the horse's mouth because he's been involved with the committee. But to introduce him as a person, he's the director of Sunflower Women's Hospital, Ahmedabad, awarded 2019 Inspiring Gynecologist and IVF India, Economic Times, Asia's Greatest Leaders by Singapore United Research Services, Best of IVF Centers, an independent survey, elected president for Gujarat chapter of ISAR, and has delivered lots of IVF babies successfully so far in his career, delivered many lectures at national and international forums on IVF and infertility, and he's apparently done pioneering work in male infertility as well, including TISA, micro-TISA, and a special interest in repeated IVF failures. So it will be a pleasure for us to hear from Dr. R.G. Patel about the current issue, which is a very hot issue, which is the reproductive technology bill. From most of us who are practicing IVF in India have some doubt or another about it. He's here with us today to clarify our doubts.
Good evening to everybody. Thanks, Madam Radhuvasini, for the kind introduction. So today we will discuss about the new ART and surrogacy acts. There are so many questions about the new rules and regulation. So we have to understand very well for our practice. So we will. So what is the regulation? The acts of regulation, supervision, assisted reproductive. Right. Click. Yeah. So it's overlapping. This part is overlapping. So can you put this?
No, not possible.
Okay. So this act is to regulate and supervision of the assisted reproductive technology for the clinic and technology which involve banks for the prevention and misuse of this technology, to safeguard the ethical practice of the assisted reproductive technology, and addressing the issue of reproductive health where the assisted reproductive technology is required for becoming a parent, for freezing gametes, embryologic issue for the further due to infertility, disease, social concern and regulation and supervision of the research and development of all the infertility and further regulations. So they have laid down all the rules into this is known as ART Regulation Act 2021. But this is create a problem. Just 1 minute, some technical problem about just to minimize the okay, that's good. Okay, if you go through all the small definition, what is ART technology, which is means all technique that attempts to obtain the pregnancy by handling the sperm and oocyte outside the human body and transferring the gamete or embryo inside the reproductive system to get the pregnancy. So this is the definition of ART. What is meaning of bank? The means the organization which shall be responsible for collection of gamete, storage of gamete and embryo, and supply of gamete to this assisted reproductive clinics and their patients. What is the ART clinic? Means the equipment with the requested facility and medical practitioner registered with the NMC for carrying out the procedure related to ART. So this is all small definition. We will not go in detail about the gamete, donor, gynecologist, infertility, national board, national registry, notification, patients and prescribe. Sometimes they have, this is like first it passed with the bill, then it become act. Now they make some rules and then some regulation, some notification. So one by one, depending on the that all situation, and they will monitor what is needed to have some modification in the acts. So ART regulation, if you define about ART1 clinic and ART2 clinic. In ART clinic 1, they can do IUI only. ART2 clinic are the IVF clinic where they can do surgical retrieval of the egg or sperm. They can handle the egg and sperm outside the human body. They can make the embryo by egg and sperm fertilization. they can do cryopreservation of the embryo. Resultant embryo, they can do transfer in the reproductive system of the woman. And remaining embryo or gamete, egg or sperm, they can do cryo for the future use. That all procedure involved in the ART2 level. ART bank is responsible for screening, collection, and registration of the semen donor and cryopreservation of the sperm. ART bank can perform screening and registration of the oocyte donor, operate as semen bank or oocyte bank or both, maintain all the record and data from the donors, and shall regularly maintain the national registry provided in section 23, 27, 28 of the Act. Now, what is the duties of ART clinic? As per section 13, all the unused gamete or embryo shall be preserved by the ART clinic for the use of the same patient, shall not use for any other couple or any woman. All cryopreservation of the oocyte sperm for oncofertility patient undergoing treatment, for such they can preserve for 10 years. If they want to extend more than 10, they need permission of the national board. All the care should be taken for the during ovulation induction, make the reasonable induction to prevent the ovarian hyperstimulation. Safety of women is more important. Pre-implantation genetic study we can do for the screen the human embryo for the pre-existing genetic disease and when it is medically indicated. So that is the restriction of some PGTA, PGTM we can do because of single gene disease. PGT-SR in indicated cases, but PGTA routinely we cannot use. Only we can do PGTA when it is genetically diseased or when it is medically indicated. No PGT testing shall be done for the sex selection or any person preference for the any design baby. You cannot change the gene. What is the duty of ART clinic? They need to consent the sign of the couple or women as per Form 6 is concerned. IUI husband in Form 7. IUI donor as Form 8. Freezing of embryo on Form 9. Take the consent freezing of gamete, Form 10. Assess the freezing of gamete, sperm and oocyte and parental consent in Form 11. Unmarried, those who have malignancy or they need to cryo, then they need to freeze their egg or sperm in Form 11. Consent of oocyte retrieval as per Form 12. Oocyte donor, Form 13. ART bank shall maintain the following record about all the donors' gamete, involved investigation, consent, counseling on, and after they will send to the clinic and how many egg they have retrieved, how many embryo they have formed, how many they have transferred it, and remaining how many they have done cryopreservation. All the record they have to collect from the clinic, like in Form 14, 14A and 14B. And all the record they have to inform the National Registry. Consent form of the donor sperm as per specified as per Form 15, that is for donor sperm. What is the duty of bank? Examination of gamete donor by ART bank. Gamete donor shall be tested for the communicable disease like hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV 1 and 2, and syphilis through the VDRL. Medical examination of the donor, sperm and oocyte donor shall be tested for the communicable disease. Manner of obtaining information in respect to sperm and oocyte donor by the bank. So After counseling is very important, investigation of the donor, consent of the husbands if needed, and other information from the clinic after egg retrieval, embryo formation, and remaining embryo, they have to keep the records. That is the duty of ART bank. What is the requirement of staff? In ART 1 level, only one gynecologist is required. And rest they can do IY with the infrastructure. We will see what infrastructure is required for the ART 1 level. But ART 1 level can do IY only for an MD gynecologist. Any post-graduation gynecologist can do IY, or they can do ART 1 level up to IY. ART 2 level required minimum one gynecologist, one anesthetist, one embryologist, one counselor. Additional staff at the level of like a director or andrologist, they can employ in ART 2 clinic. They no need of any full-time director or andrologist, but they can hire. As per what is the qualification of gynecologist, what is the definition? If you say they will medical post-graduation after OBGY and should be record of performing 50 ovum pickup under the supervision of any specialized ART clinic, and they have to work for 3 years in this clinic and require experience after passing any post-graduation. Those who are working before the act, gynecologists required at least 3 years of experience, and they have minimum experience of 50 ovum pickup procedure is required for the gynecologist. Or any medical post-graduate in gynec and OBGY with the super specialist like DM or MCH or fellow in reproductive medicine, they require even 3 years of experience in any ART clinic, registered ART clinic. Any DM or any fellow in reproductive medicine. They again require 3 years of experience in a registered ART clinic too. In andrology, for the any male patient, for the any procedure like TESA, PESA, clinic or bank will require MCH or DNB in urology, and especially they have trained in diagnosis and treating of male infertility. Now, what is need of embryologist? They should be post-graduate in clinical embryologist, full-time, 4 semester study required in a recognized university with additional 3 years of ART laboratory experience of handling human gametes and embryo. If they are PhD, full-time PhD related to clinical embryology or assisted reproductive technology from the recognized university with an additional 1 year of human ART laboratory experience in handling gametes or embryo. Those who are MBBS or veterinary, post-graduation degree with the clinical embryology, full-time program with the recognized university with additional 2 years of ART laboratory experience in handling human gamete and embryo. For embryologists, post-graduation in life, those who are already one-time measure, those who are already in practice before this act, they should have post-graduation degree in life sciences, biotechnology, minimum 1 year on-site full-time embryology certified training in additional 4 year experience handling human gametes and embryo in registered ART. Not one-time measure, all embryologists working in ART or IVF before this act, they need minimum qualification like life science, graduation, biotechnology, reproductive biology, veterinary science, with at least 5 years of experience in ART registered clinic. And at least they need 500 IVF lab procedure like ICSI and at least 100 cycle of cryopreservation of embryo. They require this type of degree also experience also and procedure also. And those who are working before this act. Now, after act, we have already discussed what degree required for the gynecologist, what degree required for the embryologist, andrologist. So that is the minimum requirement for the working person in a IVF lab, ART2 level. If we discuss about the counselor, they should be graduate in psychology, clinical psychology, nursing or life sciences. Again, anesthetist required postgraduate degree in medical about anesthesia, and about director, they should be postgraduate degree in medical or life sciences or management sciences. In ART bank, they required minimum staff, that is one registered medical practitioner, which is recognized by the MCI, and their name should be entered in their state, that RMP can handle the ART bank. Equipment we know in ART level 1, where we are doing IUI, need microscope, centrifuge, and refrigerator. In ART2 level, we need microscope, minimum 2 incubator, laminar airflow, swarm counting chamber, centrifuge, refrigerator, equipment for the cryopreservation, ovum aspiration pump, USG machine with the transvaginal probe with the needle guard, test tube warmer, or anesthesia resuscitation trolley. That is requirement for the ART2 level as per equipment and infrastructure is concerned. In ART bank, they need centrifuge machine, incubator, microscope, and laminar airflow. How to do registration? So we can go on portal, you can do registration, you can make the fee at your state level, and application of registration shall be made by the ART clinic or any such health facility which is carrying out procedure related to assisted reproductive technology as per defining act to the appropriate authority in form 1 and for ART bank form 2. If you need about fees, registration fees is for ART1 level is 50,000. ART2 level 2 lakhs rupees. ART bank 50,000 again. If appropriate authorities reject the application, you can do appeal. Once you have paid fee, it will not be resubmission. Application will continue. We can do appeal. Your fee remain pending, and after appeal, they will hear you a lot. Then they will do accordingly. Provided further that no fee shall be required for the government institute. Here we can see the form 1 and form 2, that is for registration ART clinic and ART bank, that is form 2 and 1. So again, registration certificate, you can see the your certificate of registration, maybe ART level 1, maybe ART level 2, and which is signed by the appropriate authority, and you have to display this registration in your clinic, which should be visible to everybody. Renewal of your ART level 1 or 2 every 5 years. Again, you have to form your formality for renewal. ART 1 and 2 is for 5 years, but if you are surrogacy clinic, renewal every 3 years. In which patient you can do ART? The age should be more than 21 and it should be below 55 in case of male patient. In female, it should be above 21 and in female age should be less than 50. Again, all the record you have to keep nicely, detailed record of the about procedure, consent, about your embryo, unused or use all embryo in all manner. You have to keep all the record nicely. All clinic bank, when the national registry is established, you have to submit to national registry whatever you have done procedure, even in ART1 or ART2 and surrogacy. All the procedure, number of procedure, and how you have stimulated, how many egg you have retrieved, how many embryo it formed, how many you have transferred, they were positive or negative, and how many you have done cryopreservation. All the data you have to submit in national registry. At present, it is not formed fully. They are ongoing. We are making hard work about the software about the national registry. All information available in them regard to process the commissioning couple and women. Information about the number of donors, screening, maintaining supply to the national registry within 1 month. Procedure you have done, you have to give all the information to the registry within 1 month. All the record you have to keep with you about the IUI or IVF for 10 years. In surrogacy, again, you have to keep for the 25 years. In event of closure of any clinic or bank before the expiry of the period 10 years under the clause, such clinic or bank should be immediately transferred the record to the national registry. Made all the infrastructure you have to made in such a manner, anybody will come from your state or appropriate authority or from the national board, they can have the right to inspect and see your clinic anytime. So we have to make record in such a way they can inspect without disturbing cryopreserved embryo area. So they have all the right, they can inspect anytime. Number of embryo transfer. Clinic shall retrieve oocyte in such a manner as will prescribe. No more than 3 embryo we can transfer in uterus. Normally, safety of the woman is more important. If you transfer 1 and single pregnancy have less complication during obstetric career. So to minimize the complication, to avoid the twin pregnancy, we know everybody there is a problem of twin pregnancy about hypertension, prematurity. So they want to avoid any risk in women to transfer single one if possible. If fail, one cycle fail, you can transfer 2. Multiple in special situation, multiple failure, you can transfer 3, but never you can transfer more than 3 embryo transfer. You cannot mix the semen to have a good embryo. Cannot do. Never mix the semen in a single cycle. So women shall not be treated with gamete or embryo derived from more than 1 man or woman during one cycle. So no egg from 2 women or no sperm from 2 men. And you cannot transfer 1 embryo from the egg donation or self embryo in the same cycle. Do not mix semen. Do not mix embryo even. You cannot split embryo to increase the number of embryo. You can donate the semen. Those male have age more than 21 and up to 55, they can take the semen. In oocyte, age limit is 23 to 35 for the egg donor. Bank should not supply sperm or oocyte to a single donor to more than 1 commencing couple. So single donor sperm or oocyte for the single commencing couple. single donor cannot give to two or more than two recipient. Same way, one semen donor cannot give to more than one commissioning couple. So, oocyte donor shall donate oocyte only once in their life, and you cannot retry more than 7 from the oocyte donor. That is very hot discussion about this because of these rules. It came single donor can do home pickup once in their one life, and you cannot retry more than 7. After oocyte from the donor, make the embryo, and all the unused oocyte or embryo can be preserved by the bank for the same recipient. You cannot give to any other recipient. What we need from the donor sperm or oocyte as a bank, they need Aadhaar card, they have to counseling them, they have no rights on the child after giving egg or sperm, no rights on the child, and they have to give the consent about their giving egg and sperm and donor. For the safety of the donor, we need guarantee from the intended couple. Safety. First, we have to do safety by investigation, make them suit for the during procedure or during ovum pickup, during anesthesia. There should not be any problem to the donor. But if there is any complication, they or commissioning couple give guarantee to have safety of the donor. They need insurance. And insurance is as such a manner they for all the complication which is arising from the ovum pickup during procedure or even after 12 months. So they need 12 months of insurance for the egg donor. From the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority, which is established under the provision of the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999, an amount which is sufficient to enough to cover all the expenses for all complications arising due to oocyte retrieval. Intending couple shall write affidavit on the magistrate, or now it become easy, you can do notarization. PGD, again, you can do only in a pre-existing heritable or genetic disease only. Or if it is medically indicated, we can do PGT to avoid any genetic disease transmission. Restriction of cell or transfer of embryo as per section 29. Any cell, transfer or use of gamete, zygote or embryo, any part, directly or indirectly, inside the India or outside the India is strictly prohibited, except if they are using for own gamete, own embryo, for their personal use only, with the permission of the national board. So if you are in one state or from one state to another state, patient want to transfer their embryo, their own egg, own sperm embryo, and their own use only, they can transfer from one center to another center, but after the permission of the national board only. For that, they have all the form filling. We will give the email and all the formality they need. All the clinic need grievance cell. So any patient having any problem, they need to attend by our ART clinic to for one person. They can understand problem, they readdress that problem. So for that, to avoid any miscommunication, need grievances readdressal cell in every clinic. What is the penalty? if you have no registration, you are doing ART, you are doing more than any donor misuse, many times you have stimulus. So there are so many problems can happen. So they have punishment. First, they will fine with the money amount, maybe 5 lakh, 10 lakhs. If it is grievous fault, then directly they can put in a bar for 5 years. If again we will do next time, then fine will be increased and again penalty or may extend up to 10 years, depending on what type of problem you have done, clinic or any ART bank, about the sex determination, about egg donor, any problem with the egg donor, without any formality, you are doing any work, you are putting more embryo, more than 3. So this type of problem happen, that penalty is hard penalty. It is non-conclusible and bailable. And but here any problem arise, they cannot go to direct any court. We have executive board and they can have first class magistrate. They all you have go to the board and they hear you what type of penalty. Then appropriate authority again examine the problem. Then go to the state board. If the problem will solve, if not solve, then it come to the national board. So this is a hierarchy of if you have any problem, then the case is ongoing. But better to avoid any misuse or any rules. Act is act. You have to do work with the reasonable, remain in the act and rules, and give the best result for the patient. And your safety is also very important. So this is like consent from signed by the couple or woman. And we have all the forms for the husband cement, form 7, form 8, form 9, form 12, 13. So all the application, gamete, embryo within or outside India, you can have this type of application. Affidavit for the transfer of embryo outside India, affidavit of transfer of gamete outside India, affidavit of transfer embryo within India, one center to second center, affidavit of transfer of gametes from outside within India by the center which is where the ART procedure is done. Again, affidavit where they are transferring to the another ART center. Both center need affidavit with the notarization and with the affidavit. Then they will, with the national board permission, they can transfer one center to second center. So again, affidavit clinic receiving frozen embryo. So all about this ART Act. Now we'll see some highlight about the surrogacy. We know there is a surrogacy board act to regularize all the surrogacy activity, surrogacy clinics. Previously, we know India was the surrogacy hub. It's emerged surrogacy capital and destination for the couple from the different country in the past 2 decades. Drastically increase in the number of fertility clinics across the India for Indian and foreign couple offering surrogacy, IVF and artificial insemination. In 2002, commercial surrogacy became legal in India. Surrogate mothers treated as a commodity. Surrogate unaware of all laws and human rights, lack of regulation, framework and enforcement. And there was the abandoning of children, selective breeding, exploitation of the surrogate mothers. And that leads to evaluation of surrogacy law in 2014. ICMR issued draft ART regulation bill in 2014 and banning of surrogacy for the foreign nations. In 2016, surrogacy bill was introduced allowing close relative for the surrogate, and only Indian citizen and NRI can participate in surrogacy. But in 2020, selective committee from the Rajya Sabha submitted the recommendation, including allowing any willing woman to be a surrogate, that accepted by the cabinet. But now, latest 2021, there is a surrogacy regulation passed in Parliament, presidential assent on the December 25, to protect the rights of surrogate mother and child. So, if you see the surrogacy means the practice whereby one woman can bear and give a birth of a child for an intending couple with the intention of handling over a child to the intending couple after birth. That is surrogacy. About traditional surrogacy, that was partial, natural or straight surrogacy, is one where the surrogate's mother is fertilized by the intending father or donor sperm. But in gestational surrogacy, we have to make the embryo in the lab from the intending couple's egg or sperm, and then we have to transfer in the surrogate. So child may not be genetically related to the surrogate mother. Egg not from the surrogate mother. Intending couple means couple who have medical indication necessitating gestational surrogacy and who intend to become parents through the surrogacy. That is intending couple. An intending woman like divorcee or widow can do surrogacy. Should be Indian and age should be between 35 to 45. Always we have to do altruistic surrogacy. Act become because to avoid any commercialization of the surrogacy and avoid this commercialization even in egg donation. So act may made for to avoid any commercial surrogacy. Surrogacy should be altruistic. There should not be any charges, expenses, fees or remuneration or monetary incentive of whatever nature, except medical expenses. Or you can take insurance for the surrogate mother, and which is given to the surrogate mother or her dependent or to her representative. So only medical expenses to and fro or food or travel little bit, but there is no any monetary charges, expenses, no. So you cannot hire the worm with the money. So what is the commercial surrogacy? Including selling or buying any embryo also, any egg or sperm or embryo, selling or trading, purchasing, gamete, or buying any services of surrogate mother by way of giving payment, reward, benefit, fees, remuneration, monetary incentive in cash or any kind to the surrogate mother or to her dependent or to her representative, except medical expenses or any insurance. So you can go to portal Surrogate Clinic for the registration, websites National ART and Surrogacy Registry, sign up to make the login account, fill and submit the application, and you can proceed for the registration. So application is submitted, payment about 2 lakhs rupees for the registration. It is inspected by the appropriate authority and registration certificate by granted for 3 years. So altruistic surrogacy, again we have discussed what we eligible for the couple. Surrogate Indian origin should be married, female age should be 23 to 50, male should be 26 to 55, and there should not be any child except if it is medically ill health, they need DHO certificate. In women, divorcee or widow, Indian origin, age 35 to 45, there should be any child. So what is the indication? There is no uterus or missing uterus, abnormal uterus, hypoplastic uterus, intrauterine adhesion, thin endometrium, T-shaped uterus. They are the indication for the surrogate, or they have repeated implantation failure, or they have multiple abortion, or unexplained graft rejection due to exaggerated immune response, or any inhaled medical indication. They have any problem with the heart or kidney, life-threatening, they can do surrogacy. Own egg is required because it's a hot discussion. The child should be genetically related to the intending couple. Own egg, own sperm. Whether we can do egg donation with the surrogacy is debatable. At present, we cannot do. For the single divorcee or widow, they have need or their own eggs. They can use donor sperm for the surrogacy. Again, eligibility certificate for the mother, surrogate mother, altruistic, and ever married, have no, who can become surrogate mother. It should be willingly, no force from the any parents or any husband. It should be surrogate should be married, ever married, should have their own child. Age should be 25 to 35, and they can become surrogate mother once in their life. 3 attempts transfer 1 embryo, 2 embryo, 3 embryo, should not be more than 3 embryo we can transfer in surrogate. After 3 attempts fail, they cannot transfer again 4 times. So call the mother, counsel about the procedure, need Aadhaar card, birth certificate, proof of living child for the surrogate mother, proof of marriage certificate for the surrogate mother, age proofing from the intending couple, Aadhaar card again, marriage proof for the intending couple or single woman or divorcee. They need any, if husband is expired, they need certificate. And any surrogacy in India can do those who are person of Indian origin. So medical assessment of the and fitness of the surrogacy by the gynecologist, by the any RMP, mothers should be fit. So surrogate mother, they can do transvaginal sonography, all the investigation, abdominal sonography, X-ray, 2D echo, ECG. So they should fit for the any pregnancy. And then counsel the surrogate mother and her husband for the procedure. Consent of the surrogate mother and agreement of the surrogate is very, very important. So intending couple women obtain the document like apply for the medical indication to the district medical board and order the parentage and custody, that birth affidavit, that is birth affidavit by the first class and executive magistrate. Before procedure, they need birth affidavit by the magistrate. Again, if husband or wife both expired, then child should be hand over to guaranteed. So guaranteed should be there, consent from the guaranteed. If anything happened to the couple, intending couple, both expired, then child will be hand over to guaranteed. Insurance for 36 months. Affidavit giving guarantee for the compensation. Any problem happened to the surrogate related to surrogacy procedure or anything within 36 months, the responsibility will be by the intending couple. So that affidavit is needed. Essential certificate, that is medical indication by the district medical board, and parentage and custody of the child to be born by the magistrate, and medical insurance, that is essential certificate. And again, medical and psychological fitness by the registered medical officers, appropriate authority, see all the indication, Aadhaar card, all the marriage proof, proof of child, all will be seen by appropriate authority. And then they will give the eligible certificate. And the main role of appropriate authority, that is eligible certificate for the intending couple and intending woman, allowing document with this all medical certificate, fitness and insurance. So again, what we need, proof of marriage, marriage certificate. certificate of age and birth, essential certificate for the couple and women obtaining appropriate authority, eligible for the intending couple and intending women from the appropriate authority, medical indication from the district medical board, eligible of surrogate mother obtained from the appropriate authority, medical certificate for physical and mentally challenged by the district medical officer or any RMP, order of parentage from the court, insurance cover for the surrogate for the 36 month, certificate of medical and psychological fitness of the surrogate mother, maybe by gynecologist, maybe by RMP. So after director of surrogate clinic, this will all verify by the director or any clinician, certificate of essential eligible certificate or the surrogate mother, eligible certificate for the intending couple or woman, and availability of surrogacy for the, that is approval by the surrogate board. All the certificate examined by the appropriate authority, and then they will forward to the ART state board, and ART state board will give certificate to allow the certificate for the intending couple. So what other required is consent for the couple and women opting surrogacy. Informed consent for the use of donor is not allowed, donor egg now. OPU consent or embryo cryopreservation. Up to transfer of embryo, 1 or 2 trial or second trial, you can do cryopreservation. You cannot do cryopreservation long for more time. If you're not transferring embryo and not your surrogate not ready, you cannot do extensive embryo cryopreservation in a case of surrogate. Donor embryo is not allowed for single women. Their own egg with the donor sperm make the embryo and then they can do surrogacy. Embryo transfer, only 1 embryo. In a special situation, you can transfer 3 embryo. Only 3 attempts for embryo transfer is allowed. Surrogate can withdraw their consent before the embryo transfer. After embryo transfer, they cannot withdraw their consent. If it is medically indicated, and if surrogate mother give consent for the termination of pregnancy, then you can do termination of pregnancy. Again, you have to inform to the appropriate authority about the fetus if there any problem in surrogate. Again, staff as per same ART2 level, required staff, same staff is required here. All the instrument also same as per ART2 clinic. 1 gynecologist, anesthetist, embryology, counselor, director, andrologist. Again, qualification is remains same, embryologist remains same. Required microscope or incubator, laminar flow, sperm counting, centrifuge, refrigerator, everything remains same as per ART2 clinic. Now penalty is harsh in case of surrogacy. Mostly they will put behind the bar even in small or any intermediate mistake in surrogacy. Offense is punishable with the imprisonment for a term which may extend up to 10 years or fine which may extend up to 10 lakh rupees. Any racket, any broker, any intermediate to purchase egg, sperm or embryo, any advertisement, any exploitation or child or surrogate mother, abandon of any child to sell human embryo or gamete for the purpose of surrogacy, import or export is totally prohibited. And again, sex selection in surrogacy is not allowed. So this is like this punishment is non-bailable and non-compoundable. Fine first time up to maybe 5 or 10 lakh rupees, maybe 5-year imprisonment or 10-year imprisonment. But after repeated problem, they can give information to the National Medical Registry, NMC. They can cancel your registration for the surrogacy and they can cancel your degree by information to the state medical council. So they have power. They can suspend your registration. So we have to be very careful whenever you are doing surrogacy. Again, like hierarchy, first indication, then go to the all the fitness and parentage to the magistrate, and go to insurance, then appropriate authority. They will give essential certificate, then the application to the state board, and then they will give the certificate of recommendation. Then you can start the procedure about the surrogacy. So all the form is here. Certificate of recommendation by the appropriate authority or board, consent of surrogate mother and agreement of the surrogacy in Form 2, application for the intending couple for the availing surrogacy Form 10, Form 10A for the women, intending couple certificate essential like Form 11, Form 12 medical indication intending couple, Form 13 order of parental birth affidavit, birth certificate, certificate of medical and psychological fitness for the surrogate mother, consent from the withdrawn, again this essential certificate. So all the form is required, certificate of recommendation, appeal, appropriate authority, eligibility certificate intending couple, written consent of surrogate for the abortion or medical termination of pregnancy, and thank you very much for the patient's hearing. Gautam? Hello?
Yes, sir. Madam, can you unmute yourself?
Madam, unmute nahi hai Gautam.
Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. There are a couple of questions in the chat box. Do we have the time for it? It's already 8 o'clock. Does it matter? Can I go ahead with the question?
Yes, yes, madam, we can.
Okay. Kiran Oswal asks about situation in her area. She states that anesthetists, general physicians, even allopathies, any specialty in allopathy, they spend a few months in an IVF unit and then start an IVF clinic. And many are in practice still. Your comments on it?
Sorry, madam, can you repeat?
These are not the qualifications that we have stated, and it's quite widely known in India that a lot of people who have 3 or 6 months of exposure in an IVF unit, even if they have not even a gynecologist, sometimes start an ART unit, and they're still in practice, and they just want your comment on it.
The Act 8 saying about all about the infrastructure and manpower. As per gynecologist is concerned, there is defined after MBBS, they need post-graduation degree, they need 3-year experience, they have to work in any previously registered ART clinic. Those who are working since many years, they need 3 years of experience, though then and they can learn so many things about how to handle the patient, because patient safety is very important. Result is also very important because it's all costly treatment. So all qualification is must. Without qualification, they cannot run or they cannot start even any ART clinic. They should be a gynecologist, should be proper infrastructure, embryologist, andrologist, or anesthetist. Any complication arise during ovum pickup, they have enough knowledge how to handle it. May require additional your endoscopy unit also, may require endoscopy, may require laparotomy. So all infrastructure is also required. Knowledge is very important, because in which case required patient, what type of treatment is required, that gynecologist and experienced gynecologist, because during study, MD gynecologist, we have not any single chapter about any IVF. Only we are knowing only IVF, what is IVF in short note. We are not knowing any gonadotropin or culture media or incubator. So, and for safety now, even experienced person have so many trouble to give the result. Maybe 20%, 30%. So, yes, a qualification is required. Otherwise, they cannot do.
Madam, unmute yourself, madam.
Absolutely no question about what you're stating. It's absolutely the way it should be. But however, in practice, it's not happening, and they're just wondering about how it is possible to get away with these clinics, kind of a.
They can hire any experienced gynecologist.
Yeah.
Any director, they have no qualification, but they can hire gynecologist, embryologist. But whatever the degree said, they should be experienced, and they can hire the other doctors.
Another question about shipping embryos within the country, and if they have to be shipped from one place to another. We have sort of, now we know that the permission has to be obtained for that kind of a shipping, even if it's for their own use. But are there any specific forms for it, and how does it get done?
Yeah. So there is a one portal, and you can go there, you can do email. The procedure is one affidavit, the procedure where they have done, how many embryo they have, how many they have transfer, how many they have the embryo remaining. And if they need affidavit from the center where it is formed embryo, they are transferring to another center. So again, they need affidavit from the second center where they are transferring. And they should be for their own egg, own embryo, and for their own use only. They cannot use for any other procedure with the permission of the national board. So in a national board,
is this format already available?
Available, yes, yes. We have already keeping this lecture also.
Okay.
If they need, you can contact to Gautam. We will give to Gautam, and they will give you.
And this will be the National ART Bill Committee that we'll be applying to, or is it just the national board?
It's a one web email. We have to do it. You have to give online, and they will accept. They will study the
email address to.
Yeah, we will give you to Gautam, and you can contact the email. You can give your information, what you want. They will again reply. You can submit. Again, they're all physical.
That's fine. But Gautam's email ID should be available to all of us then.
Yeah. We will give you.
Okay. And
yeah.
it has to
and
be
this is on portal.
announced.
And this is email of SN Jasra, who is working in this DHR. Department
only
of Human.
Difficulty is most of us are unaware of the addresses and stuff.
Yeah, we will provide. We will provide
to all of those people who are doing IVF in India should be aware of all of these things. And another question is, can a gynecologist do a TISA or a micro TISA?
No.
Or should it be only?
No. Because now it's very defined. The surgical procedure should be done by the urologist, MCH, and they MCH again have special training in male infertility and for the egg and sperm retrieval.
So it has to be an approved andrologist who will be doing any procedure.
Yeah, andrology and urologist with a degree MCH with the specialized training.
Okay.
Better, because to avoid any complication and success rate will be increased.
And in a level 1 ART clinic, if they are stimulating, can they use gonadotropins or should they not be using? Earlier on, there was a statement saying gonadotropins should be only used in an ART level 2. So is it okay for people who do not have the registration to use gonadotropins?
If there is no registration, better to avoid it. If they have registration about ART1, they can do IUI. For IUI, they can use gonadotropin.
They can use gonadotropin.
But yes.
Okay.
For ART1, registered ART1 level, for the IUI, they can use gonadotropin.
And are there, the ART banks have started working already? This is a common question, sir, because many of the states, the local state level committees have not been formed, or if they are formed, they haven't issued the certificates yet. They haven't come for inspections in many states. Where do we go from there? Is it okay for us to keep working the way we are working and waiting for these committees to be formed, or?
Yeah, definitely we have to wait because of proper registration is required. They can inspect and
Madam, you're
Madam
muted.
unmute.
Yeah.
Muted. Unmute.
See, earlier on, one of the statements was that within a certain period of time, if the local committees are not formed, you can just continue to work the way you are working until the committees get formed. And the time period that was given by the central notification was 3 months, and for the committee to be formed. And if you had been functioning earlier, you just continue to function until it gets formed and you get the certification. If certain states, either their committees are not formed or they have not come for inspection, and if even
Gautam unmute. Mute हो गया madam.
it is much beyond the 3 months, sir, but a lot
Sorry.
of states it has not happened the way it should have happened. And what is the recourse that we have?
Yeah. Yes, it's a problem with the ART bank. Lots of issue. ART clinic and ART bank. Those who are working before the ART Act and already they are supplying sperm donation to the other any ART clinic, and they have applied for the ART bank, they can continue their work as a ART bank.
So if a proper application in place and you're waiting for it, you can continue your work.
Yes, if already done application,
yeah,
and you have not any objection within 1 or 2 months from the any appropriate authority or board, then you can continue your work. Yes, madam.
Okay. Another question is, can IVF stimulation be done by any gynecologist who hasn't got an approval? The stimulation part of it can be done and sent for a pickup in an approved clinic. Is that possible? Can they do it?
No. Because they need registration. Unregistered gynecologists cannot do stimulation and they cannot send to the ART level 2 clinic.
Because a lot of franchise arrangements now work that way. Gynecologists outside stimulate and send the patients for pickup to these clinics. So that gonadotropin usage and because I also believe that stimulation is a very important part of it.
Important part.
I believe that, and I think that's the right judgment, but it seems to be a common way it's handled. And somebody has asked you about your opinion for that. What about counseling? Counseling, does it need registration? I don't know what
yes.
That.
No need of registration. You need in-house better counselor, because procedure we have to explain. Every procedure we are explaining the patient also, even in hysterectomy or any other problem we are doing counseling. But ART procedure is lengthy. So each and every procedure we need to counsel properly about the cost, about the success rate, about the complication, about the failure rate. So required time, and they should understand very well, and better to do ourselves, and then the rest of the work should be done by the counselor. They can give proper time and they can discuss so many things separately. So counselor is must, and counseling is very important.
Okay. Is there any rule regarding how many times a sperm donor can donate sperm?
Single.
The ART banks that have already approved and started working, an ordinary IVF unit doesn't have a way of knowing who's approved and who's available in their state. Is there any way of finding out?
Because again, we have told if they are working before the ART Act, they can continue if they have proper staff and instrument and they are all doing recording and everything, and they have applied for their registration.
Okay.
They can continue their work. But those who have not applied and any body is not formed, no, then they cannot do. And we need altruistic donor. That is the main issue. No commercialization, no payment to any lucrative payment to the donor. Thoroughly investigation, safety of the donor is important, insurance is important. So that duty is by ART Bank. And after that, again, they have to maintain all the records also.
You know, there used to be a situation where if for a couple that needs an oocyte donation, it may be somebody that's known to them or a distant relative, whatever, may want to be truly an altruistic donor and donate. But if that kind of a situation arises, what does the clinic do? Send them to the bank and have them registered with the bank and then bring them back? Is that the way?
Yes, even though it's a relative, want to donate the egg, age criteria should be there and should be ART Bank through only. Again, they need investigation, they need notarization, then they will counsel and take the consent even though they are relative at the ART Bank level. Then they again send to the clinic, then you can stimulate, make the embryo, give all the information to the ART Bank, and ART Bank will keep the record. Again, then ART Bank, all information will send to the National Registry. So this is the proper channel.
So they can do it, but only through
yeah,
an ART Bank.
they can do. So main words is anonymous and confidentiality.
Okay.
So now donor egg or donor sperm can be known.
Yeah.
But
That's a big
whatever the
difference.
procedure you have done with the relative or friends, that all the procedure should be confidential related to clinic and donor only.
Okay. Well, another situation is somebody has raised a question about franchisees. You know, now that that model is existing in India, what if you are the franchisee of a known chain? Do you still have to get a separate license?
Yes. Each and every center, they need infrastructure, they need qualified staff, all the documentation, all the registration, everything they need in each and every, all the branch.
Okay.
Without infrastructure, without any qualified staff and record, they cannot do work in a multiple chain.
Okay. So in a franchise situation or a multiple chain situation, it cannot be one central license. Each unit should have its own license.
Yes. Each and every center need separate registration and infrastructure and manpower.
I think that's about all the questions that I've got, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening.
Thank you very much.
And I think if we have availability of some sort of a contact with you, we'll be very happy to communicate.
Sure, madam. It's my pleasure.
And communicate with you if you're stuck at some point and don't know how to explain something. And I think act as much as it's a very needed act and it's been done. And I think, but still, it takes a while for it to be streamlined. So a lot of questions are arising when you were already in the field and have been working in some particular way or another. And I think that kind of ability to communicate with you would be immensely appreciated by all of us. So,
sure, madam. Thank you.
Thanks for being here
Thanks.
and making certain things get more clear to us.
Thanks, madam. So, madam, whatever the details, I'll take from Dr. RJ Patel. I will mail it to you, madam. The concerned email ID person contacts. I will share separately with you. Thank you. Thank you.
When it comes up, so we can be comfortable in asking.
Like previously, who is the person to contact? It's like ready reference for him. We want to reach
No,
out to them.
because he's been saying, ask Gautam, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I've
Yeah.
seen Gautam today, but I don't know what Gautam,
Sure,
where
sure.
he is, or, you know, how to get to you.
Yeah, I will share with everyone, madam, the details. Thank you, Dr. Raju Patel, for the comprehensive patient explanation of the AI bills. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Nidhi for moderating the session. I'd like to thank participants take out time to attend this meeting. We'll be doing this kind of meetings with Dr. Raju Patel going onward. If anything queries, just write to us. Dr. Raju Patel is there to support us. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gautam. Thanks a lot, madam.
Thank you.
And all the participants, and Gautam, Mark Sirono,
Thank
for
you, sir.
this all the informative webinar. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
I
much.
think it's been helpful, but I think a lot more things need to be done, maybe
Yeah, sure.
periodically.
We keep in discussing
clarify.
and
Yeah.
it's
Sure. We will be doing this kind of meetings. So Dr. Raju Patel was actually in the expert committee. So sir will be there available to us to solve all the queries. So we'll keep in informed whatever happens in
Thank
this
you.
errands, this vicinity. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.